Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my humble casa, my humble home here in Livingston, Montana. Okay, today's date is Friday, January 8th of 2021. And boy, hasn't this year started off with a bang. Actually, it's quite disgusting in my humble opinion. Now look, I've sat down and made this video, tried to make this video a couple of times. You folks are going to have to forgive me because I promised myself I wasn't going to make political type videos, but I just got to put my 2 cents worth in about this situation that happened in Washington, D.C. Well, that's what spurred me into my thinking pattern right now anyway. And I'm talking about that storming of the Capitol building, that rioting and stuff that went on the afternoon of the 6th, on Wednesday, this last Wednesday. And I already know what I'm going to title this video. You know, most politicians are turncoats because I've seen a lot of turncoating, a lot of people flipping and doing all kinds of weird stuff, you know. Okay, to show you what I'm talking about, you take let's just turn to old Trump here for a second. On the 6th, he whips everybody into fervor and whatnot have you, or whatever, gets them all excited anyway. I wasn't there, so I don't know. I didn't even watch that speech, but that's just the vibe I'm getting from watching a little bit of news media. But what do people do? After that, they go charging up to the Capitol building and start wrecking everything, you know? But my point being is the next day, meaning yesterday, he comes out, he makes a video or a statement where he's suddenly not in love with these people like he was on Wednesday. Turncoat. He suddenly got to make a public statement that he doesn't condone all the violence and blah, 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 and on, and these people need to be in prison or whatever he said. But it sure wasn't his love message that he had on the afternoon of the 6th. You know, here we go, turncoat. And then you take that miserable Mike Pence. You know, golf ball head? You know, ping pong ball head? That guy's hair cracks me up. This guy, the vice president for the last 4 years, has done nothing but kiss Trump's ass. You know it and I know it. But it seems to me like he's turncoated in the last 72 hours big time. Wouldn't you say? It's my understanding that him and old Trump aren't even speaking anymore because Pence didn't end up doing what Trump wanted him to do. Well, sure. Pence he only did what he did to protect his political position in life, whether it be right, wrong, or indifferent. And that's what's wrong with these politicians. They've got no backbone. They can't make a statement and just stand on it. They've got no backbone. And you take like the left side of the aisle, you take like that Chuck Schumer, I no more trust him than the man in the moon. You see, he wears his glasses like this, right at the end of his nose. He reminds me of a great big bird with goggles that thinks he's intelligent. He looks stupid to me. And that Nancy Pelosi, she looks like a walking skeleton. She looks like somebody that'd stick you in the back in a heartbeat. In fact, I know she would. And I got to rely on people like that to help me with my personal problems or my debt or my medical care or any of that. Ha! United States government, now dig this, is about $30 trillion in debt with itself. How are these going to... Let me pause here. Let me slow down. Back up. The United States government is about $30 trillion in debt with itself. How is a platform like that going to help me or you or anything else with your personal problems? They can't because they're epic fail. You know, I've often said that the only way that you're going to get this mess straightened out is if somehow, some way we could get rid of all those career politicians and start all over again. Get fresh blood up there on Capitol Hill and stop nitpicking at the Congress. I didn't mean to say Congress. Stop nitpicking at Constitution. See, there's nothing wrong with the Constitution. There's nothing wrong with the guidelines and stuff that our founding fathers laid out. It's these modern day people, it's these generations of politicians that come and go that keep driving us further and further into debt, keep promising the American people everything, and all the while they're just chipping away on your freedoms and your civil rights and every other doggone thing. Turncoats. They lie, they cheat, and they steal. On the left-hand side of the aisle, the right-hand side of the aisle, it doesn't make any difference. But I think, you can't go out and assemble yourself in a group and start a violent act, especially if you start picking on the federal government, because they are going to drag out the FBI. They are going to drag out the National Guard. They are going to start shooting you. The Secret Service is going to get all flustered, and the FBI and CIA and all this other stuff. They're going to find a way to kill you. You got to be smarter than that. You can't make a great big scene if you want to get effective. Probably the best thing you can do is get into politics and see if you can change things that way, but I just don't believe that works. I just don't, because once you get sucked into that inner circle, if you don't play the game, they'll figure out a way to get rid of you. And I'm talking about the deep state, the dark government, whatever you want to call it, because that does exist. Most of these politicians are just puppets. They just tell the public what they want to hear, and like that, while they just really go about their merry way and think that their SHIT doesn't stink and all this other stuff. The hell with these politicians. They're turncoats. They got no guts. They don't stand for anything, in my humble opinion. And that's really all. Well, I've got 7 minutes. I tried to make this video several times and kept screwing up a major word or two, and I hate when I do that. But this is unscripted. Nobody puts me up to this. I've been disenfranchised with the federal government ever since the Vietnam War. And for good reason. A lot of people put way too much faith in the government. They think that the government's going to free you, going to give you lots of money, going to fix all your problems. Ha! That's another lie. That is a lie. These people are turncoats. They got no guts. They turncoat on their own friends, their own party. In the last 72 hours, I've seen more turncoating through the news media and different outlets like that than I ever thought possible. It's horrid. Okay, I got a little after 8 minutes on this file. I should wind this down. But ladies and gentlemen, my biggest thing here is I don't care if 2 people watch this video. But what 2 people, this just may help you. Learn to help yourself. Learn to get along without the federal government, because as far as I'm concerned, the federal government's a mess. And Trump being a businessman, it's no wonder when he entered into the arena that he had so many enemies, because he was like an outsider that jumped into the swamp. Remember Drain the Swamp? I think Trump he did not estimate, he did not figure that the swamp was as deep as it is. Like that. Okay, adios, my friends. Take care of yourselves.